Salut pour tous et soyez les bienvenus dans le programme Planète Équitable avec Endangered. Our talks about the biodiversity follows. We already know there are three main strategies to manage biodiversity in a territory, and none of them works isolated. So it's really important to know that you cannot have, for example, a couple of million hectares of forest and say that you are preserving the tropical forest. It makes no sense. It is absolutely nothing that you are doing. When we are approaching a territory, we know that we have species that we must cultivate it through increasing its productivity. The common species, they should be dedicated to increase productivity in a territory. Those species that have high genetic expression, they should preserve because of this reproductivity capacity. And then we have rare species endangered, threatened with extinction. They also create value in a territory. And this is the ones we will be discussing right now. But we need to have a clear line separating what is to act in favor of biodiversity and what is to act against agriculturalists. Those things are not the same, and they do not produce the same results. When dealing with biodiversity, we need to use specific tools. It doesn't pay to be against anybody. You need to use your tools to favor biodiversity. So this is what we've been talking about. We already talked about the three general strategies, and now we start talking about rare threatened species, and in our approach will begin by the flora of threatened species. So when you have a flora threatened species, there are two main strategies to preserve it. The first one is, of course, take the seeds, freeze them, and put it into a seed bank. Most of the nations have them nationally, or as you can send it to the international one on Iceland. So this is a way of preserving this threatened biodiversity from flora species. The second one is to have seed banks, what we call in Brazil active germplasm banks. So with those germplasm banks, you also assure the preservation of your rare threatened species. And more than that, you turn that into an active reproducer of that threatened species, generating quality seeds that you can use to further promote the species in a territory when this is useful for your local society. So now, and in the following captures, we will be talking about the fauna, how to preserve the threatened fauna. Follow us to learn more about this. Let God's peace and the love that builds be our weapons on our daily struggle for justice. Aide Zanetti for tous les amis africains.